Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. I keep feeling called to make a little intro. I don't know, like it kind of almost feels like setting expectations. I'm not even, honestly, it keeps like cycling through my brain though to do it. And I feel like that alone is reason enough, to listen to it. So I'm not going to take any cards. I'm just going to shuffle and I'm just going to blab for a second. I'm not going to take any cards that come out though, because this is going to be the intro for all 24 readings that I do, because I cannot repeat myself that many times. Like I will legitimately implode. So, tarot for me has always been a way of organizing my thoughts and feelings. When I first got into tarot myself, like some big life things happened. And I needed to organize my thoughts. I needed to organize my feelings, and which is very Virgo moon of me with my Cancer rising, right? It's like, that the over analyzing, write everything down. And literally that's what I did. I had a whole notebook, and I had a page dedicated to every single tarot card. And I went through every tarot deck I had at the time and I wrote down the keywords. I was watching tarot videos on YouTube myself. And anytime somebody would say something about a specific card that resonated with me or was like, ooh, that's actually a really cool perspective or way of like understanding that card or combination of cards. And I would write it down in my little notebook. And then I kind of expanded from there and started giving friends and family tarot readings. But anyway, all of that is to say, right? Like I'm not psychic. I'm not claiming to be psychic. I do know these cards and I trust the cards that come out. I trust the order that they do. I trust the message that is being given to me. So funny. There's the Queen of Swords. And also, that's why I explain each card, because it's definitely part of my own processing, but also giving you information on the cards so that you can use your own discernment. You can check in with your own intuition, because we all have it. And maybe I'm not saying what is coming through for you about a specific card, but that is very much a message for you to honor. So definitely pay attention to that, right? Like definitely pay attention to any type of whispers, feelings, just things that are dropping into your consciousness as you are watching these readings, because no doubt that is a message for you. I'm more than likely not predicting necessarily anything for you. I am probably confirming what you already know to be true in your situation. But also that is very important, right? Because, if you have confirmation that, again, right, like your thoughts, your feelings, the experience, the circumstance that you're going through right now is actually what is going on, then it almost like frees up the energy. It frees up some mind space, some consciousness, almost even like opens your receptors to what's next. Like, okay, that is true. I don't have to necessarily focus on that so much anymore and kind of, spin my wheels on that. But yeah, so again, right? I mean, I may not be predicting anything for you. It's interesting because like, I don't necessarily think that's like my purpose right now, but at the same time, like I do feel like that's changing a little bit for me, and I'm keeping my receptors open, right? Like I'm welcoming the energy however it is going to change, if it does. who knows? So yeah, like I said, I'm here to confirm things. I mean, who knows? Possibly predict shit. But where I thought there was, okay. Like I thought there I saw a card that was turned over. And ultimately allow energy to flow. So anyway, I think that is all that I want to say. For the time being, I can't tell you. I have no clue if I'm going to repeat something similar in the next series of videos. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. We go where the energy takes us as long as it feels good. And it did. So we did it. And with that, we're going to get into the readings. Also, before we both forget, hit that subscribe button. Just go ahead and do it. Hit the like button. Leave a comment would be cool too. But yeah, okay. With that being said, let's get into the readings. Great. So this is a reading for Libra. Wherever Libra shows up in your chart, the Four of Pentacles is more than welcome to come back out if it wants to. But I don't take the cards that flip in the deck, and I feel like I was the one that pushed that out. So anyway, whatever. It was weird. I put it back in. But again, it's more than welcome to come back out, and that has happened plenty of times. But my decks know that, the cards do have to come out. I want commitment. I don't take the cards that flip in the deck. So, like I said, this is a reading for Libra, wherever Libra shows up in your chart. And how many cards is that? Okay, we'll do that. Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. See? Bro, what did I tell you? Four of Pentacles. Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Four of Cups, Temperance, Wheel of Fortune. Is it this way? I almost kind of feel like this way because the Four of Pentacles would have been technically on the top if I flipped the cards over, So yeah, I don't know. That feels right. We'll see. If we get to talking about it and, maybe I'll talk backwards too, but this feels better than the other way. Not to mention too that the Four of Pentacles came out once already ish. Okay, this is this gonna be like a 5-minute read? No. Maybe. Shit. Well, I think the intro was longer than 5 minutes, so there's that. But this really feels like getting off of your ass and doing something. That's what keeps going through my head. I mean that in the most loving way possible, but truly, right? I mean, look at the cards now, how they are, right? The Four of Pentacles, they're literally sitting on this chest of, there might be money in there. There's this door that's all locked up. There is a window open, though. The interesting thing is this person isn't even locked away either. They might think that they are, because I think they would have made themselves believe that the Four of Pentacles is the beginning stages of the lack and scarcity that comes with the Five of Pentacles. It's literally, holding on way too tight to something, whether that's out of fear or just being overly disciplined, whatever it is, right? Because again, they're sitting on top of this chest. There's all these coins around here. So I'm just assuming that there's a bunch of money in there. It actually does look like it. If you can see around the edge here, or the seam of it looks like this whole thing is full of money. It's hoarding. And it, there's also it's kind of like that thin line of there's nothing wrong with saving. And of course, being cautious, being, I was going to say conservative, but I don't even like that word right now. But yeah, being cautious, overly cautious with your money. But it's also like to your detriment at a certain point. Like I said though, I mean, I'm a Taurus. Okay? So I get it. I really do. And I've been in this energy before too. Like I've like stashed cash like in 2020. Like I knew I was going to be leaving my job finally. I just like I knew it. It was a long time coming anyway. And when 2020 happened, I just started stashing cash. It was really easy to do back then though too, right? Because fucking nothing was happening. Like everything was shut down, right? Like but also though, right? Like the intention with that money was because I didn't know what I was going to be doing next. So that was, my security for the next however long, until I figured out what I was going to do next. Right. So there's this fine line, like I said, right? Like there's this fine line because saving, budgeting, being disciplined, there's nothing wrong with that. But if it is like, if you're kind of starting to go down that scarcity mindset, that's when it starts becoming almost kind of toxic. Like if you saved money and you had an intention to use the money that you saved on whatever it was, right? Then it's like the energy of that money is for that thing. So use it for that thing, right? Like obviously don't go broke. I'm not a financial advisor, right? But it could also even be just like worried about going back to a prior like financial crisis, quote unquote, like, because again, this does come from and create scarcity mindset. So if you're like at a point where you feel secure, you have a nice nest egg, you're worried of spending any of that on anything because you're afraid of like going backwards, I don't think that's going to happen. It's interesting because the 8 of Pentacles is like putting in the work with something to like master it. This could even be sitting on a brilliant idea. This could be sitting on something that could make you a lot of money. Truly, they're literally sitting on a chest full of money, not doing anything. There's this opportunity here. We have this window is open. This one door is locked like four different ways, right? But if you're like focusing on this being the only way that, an opportunity could come to you, the cat is like, bro, look over here. The window is open. Like, there is still an opportunity but it's like you're just not either seeing it as an opportunity or you don't want that to be the way that it presents itself to you type of thing, right? Like, so again, because we have the 8 of Pentacles over here, which is putting in the work. It's repetition. Practice makes perfect. It's also even being able to replicate in a recipe. It's like trial and error a little bit, but really like honing in on what the perfect blend of whatever is in these bottles is. And again, all of these cards are pentacles, bro. This all has to do with your money, your time, your energy, your physical body too. I mean, truly, this could all be health related. Also, this could be not. Getting with the program, whatever the program is. It's like sitting on the information, but not doing anything about it. Like recognizing that you need to maybe prioritize your health, but then not like continuing to not, and then literally this would be putting in the work. However that would be. It's also even like pouring your energy into something that you really enjoy. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a craft, maybe it's, whatever. And it could involve some sort of financial investment. Even like say scrapbooking or something. Like, if you don't already scrapbook, like you would need to buy the materials for that, right? But if it would make you happy, right? Like if it would give you something to do, something to focus your energy on, also even just the creative outlet of it, that could just change your energy completely. And again, it's not like you have to spend like hundreds of dollars. I mean, look on Facebook Marketplace. There's always people selling materials for crafts and hobbies. I wish there was like one of those, I wish there was a group for people like, when they hyperfixate or whatever on a certain hobby or creative thing, and then they're just like over it, that you can exchange hobbies, like here's all the shit that I bought for it. Like I want to try your thing. So let's just exchange materials. That way we don't have to spend any more money and it kind of like evens itself out. I think that would be awesome. But maybe there is something like that. I honestly have no clue. But and too, like, and then over here we have the Knight of Pentacles, which this guy and this guy could be the same guy. But now he's out of this room, off of the chest, and he's holding one big pentacle. They're taking off. Even, there's a hammer here. There's some other, like, there's tools here. I mean, this could set you in a whole other direction. And again, I mean, maybe it is something that you could monetize. Even if you're like just making your money back for the materials that you spend money on. Who knows, Ask your friends if they want to buy your shit. Like, no doubt they will. I've bought plenty of stuff from friends. I have plenty of friends that have all bought my hobbies and crafts too. Like, the real ones, right? Who knows? But also, the Knight of Pentacles it does talk about dedication and commitment. I kind of want to see what the book says about the Knight of Pentacles. I don't know if I've ever, let's see. One, that it is time to make changes and move forward in your life. Okay. Two, that you need to do so cautiously and methodically, checking into all your options before making a final decision on which direction to take. Not moving at all for fear of getting it wrong, then consider whether or not you have all your ducks in a row. And if you do, then take the first step in a new direction, confident in your own ability to handle whatever comes. Keep your eye on the prize further down the road, starting with small steps if that is all you can do right now. Just try to be patient because it isn't going to happen overnight. It's interesting. I wonder if this broom is this broom. Because, I mean, there are two dudes here, at least, in illustration. This chick right here could be somebody else. It could be, I don't know, like it could even be working for somebody else. Or even too, like, learning from somebody, like taking a course, or, like if you have a rec center or, like an arts center. Like for me personally, I took a writing class in January at an art center out where I live. And it was just like a month-long thing. And they have a ton of like I was going to do a watercolor class next month, but I think I'm going to be out of town for, it's like, just 4 Saturdays, and I was going to be gone probably 2 of those Saturdays. So I'm like, I'll just wait until May maybe or something. But right, like they have jewelry making classes, they have drawing classes, watercolor, writing, like I said, There's ceramics classes, you know. So it could even just be, trying to find something that you have an interest in, and that, sets you off on a new path. Slowly but surely, right? But it's like getting clarity, and it's getting out there and like doing something. Oh, excuse me. We have the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Something new. Your cup overflowing, like whatever this is that is happening here on the other side of it. I should put this over here. I was worried about like there potentially being a shadow. But on the other side of it is this new beginning, like feeling like your cup is full, right? Like emotionally feeling fulfilled, happy, right? Like just kind of having like a new found excitement for like, and again, it's like having something to literally pour your energy into, and that thing pouring back into you, it's overflowing, it's feeding this little plant down here. The cat is drinking from the water. There's this cauldron that's bubbling over here. Even these two doves, like you could meet people along the way also. It could even be a support group. Truly, it could be a support group if there is something that you are holding on to. And again, right? Like movement forward. The Four of Cups, Temperance. That even, again, even the support group thing. I mean, the Four of Cups is like, lethargy or like boredom, disappointment. But even again, this could be the same person. It's just like not being satisfied with the 3 cups that have been given to you already. But here's this person coming with a 4th cup, which is the Ace of Cups. So again, like, even support from others, if it is a support group type of thing, it would be, working through that energy. Also, Temperance, things start meshing, things start blending and like moving and, kind of coming together. Temperance is all about alchemy, turning one thing into another thing. The Wheel of Fortune, things changing, transforming. This is stopped on the home. So it has something to do with security and stability, safety. I love this. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.